Hey, what's up guys? I'm Praetorian and welcome back to HOI4 as we are playing with the Law of Resistance expansion as the French Empire. Alright, so last episode we invaded the Dutch and quickly defeated them. That was not too challenging, and luckily they didn't join a faction. So we're going to be declaring war against Egypt next, and I don't know how much further we'll go as far as like waiting to go to war with the Central Powers, but I think they might end up declaring war on us, guys. Let's go ahead and get this done. It's going to be 160 days. It's going to take a while. So if you look at, and I don't know why we're not getting a notification for this, but the Austrians here are doing the reclaim Venetia, and we hold that. So that'll give them a claim here. Now, it's not technically a war goal, but it does give them a claim to declare war on us. So, yeah, I don't know why we're not getting, I guess you only get the notification if they're justifying a war goal against you. But yeah, they're trying to get a claim here, so that would give them, I think it's 3 territories that they get claims on. I guess we can take a look at it real quick, see exactly what it does here. Yes, it does give them these 3 territories, 2 of which, or excuse me, only 1 of which is ours. So this one, and this one. So that's something to think about in the future. But for right now, we're going to just be building up. We're just going to let this play, actually. Go up to speed 5 now. And yeah, we're just going to be building up the forts up along the borders here and getting ready to declare war on Egypt. I don't know if Egypt will join a faction or not. I guess we'll see. But I think that'll be the last. I almost thought about conquering all this territory too, so that we could, connect our territories once we have Egypt. Connect our territories in Egypt with Syria. So that would be an option. That would require us to get more war goals, though, and take more time. It takes us a while to get those war goals, so I don't know that we're going to wait that long. We should have everything built up by that point. So we're 1941, so we could keep on going towards those 1941 techs. Let me just see if there's anything else that we need here. Obviously, we can go and get the atomic research for the research bonus. Get better radar as well. I suppose we should keep on getting stuff to improve our artillery here, get a nice passive bonus. And we do have the new towed anti-tank guns that need to get built here, so we'll go ahead and do that. Alright, also need to get that anti-air as well. In addition to the artillery and anti-tank, we need to be improving those too. So a few things I did forget to mention. First of all, we named the medium tanks here based on a suggestion in the comments. So we named those, and then also several people pointed out that I messed up with the motorized division, the Dragoons. We got them at 22 combat width. We want them at 20. So let's just go and remove one of those motorized and then save that, and then of course we'll get us more manpower and more equipment too. So just taking a look at the equipment, we're actually doing pretty good in just about everything at this point. Yeah, not really having any issues with the exception of the few things down here. And I believe we could probably pull back on certain things, just seeing what we have excess of. We got an excess of a lot of things. We could pull back on, the guns and the support equipment. I know it's only 1 extra factory, but we don't need to put into that if we are stacked up on it. How about anti-tanks? How are we doing on that? Pretty stacked up on anti-tanks as well, so we could go ahead and pull back on that. We had a lot going here for a little while just to try and fix the issue. Same thing here. We could pull back here as well. And all this is going to go into stuff we've already assigned factories to, and we just weren't actually building yet. We could probably pull back on the armored cars too, and that'll now let us to get more towards naval bombers. Alright, excellent, and there's not any resources that we're trading for that we don't need to be trading for anymore, so we're good to go on that front. And we just got construction 4, so let's go ahead and get the excavation 4. So that construction will help a lot because we're trying to get all these fortifications built, these factories built, and frankly the forts will take a while, especially if I decide to get them all the way up to level 10 here, as we've done elsewhere on our front line with the Central Powers. We do have another military factory, so let's go and get these assigned. See what we need. We really don't need anything with the exception of the stuff down here. So let me just see exactly what it is that we're short on. So light tank destroyers, and then all the medium stuff. Okay. Light tank destroyers, we actually have 7 going towards that, so that's pretty good. How about these medium tanks? Let's go ahead and go and put it into the medium tank 2s, and then the next one will go into light tank destroyers. Alright, awesome. Oh yes, I forgot one more thing. We were going to move our spy here. So we're going to move him over to do the built intel network over here against the Egyptians. So we get this war goal in 15th of February 1942, And that's the last thing, that's kind of the last thing I really wanted to do before war with the Central Powers, is just to get Egypt conquered, so we have, you know, control of the Suez Canal, and our enemies do not. Now, that should, well, never mind, let me take that back. They won't be cut off from here. They'd have to go to war with the Comintern first, but once they are at war with the Comintern, that would cut them off of the Mediterranean, though I don't really think they have any ports in the Mediterranean anyways, do they? Now, Central Powers don't have any ports, so I guess it's irrelevant. But we won't have to worry about them in the Mediterranean, so that's the point. So let's go and start with the factories, then we'll figure out what we want to spend our 150 political power on. A lot of options, though. All right, and then we're going to put this into... I mean, we need more planes. Let's go and get a close air support, and let's just go and put a few factories into these. Just get this done. Let me just take a look and see how bad the medium stuff is. All right, it's not too bad. So let's go ahead and do 2 more into the medium tanks. And then I think the rest will probably go into planes, guys. I really want to get we can get more tactical bombers. Pretty much good here. But I really want to make sure that we have a good, strong Air Force. So let's go ahead and put them into the fighters then. And let's see what we want to do here. So as far as our... Oops. Current support, we're at 51%, so we want to get that up more with those decisions, but of course we got a lot of stuff to fill out here, so we're going to start with that. We get some passive bonuses here, or we can go in and make it so that we can build our military factories quicker, which would be quite helpful. Of course, we could build civilian factories and infrastructure quicker, but I think we're going to go with the war industrialist for the military factory and dockyards here. But is that what we want next? Or should we go ahead and get something that... You know what? Let's go and fill this out. Let's just finish that. We were building a military factory. I guess we finished that already. So right now we're just focusing on fortifications. Trying to get these fort lines built up. So we're at level 3 here. Level 2, level 1. And we're getting the first level right there. This is almost up to level 10. So they're not breaking through there, guys, even with just the 2 divisions. And the ideal here is that... They're going to just throw, if we can't push forward, which I will try and do. I'm going to try and launch an offensive up here in the north, I think. Try and just race across the north and get to Berlin. Try and get all their ports taken here, all those dockyards. But to get our carrier holes finished up. So we are, where the hell are we at? All right, so that's the latest ones. So we're going to want to get those building. So we'll take a look at that in a second. But let's go and get this... this 1 research slot filled out first. Just trying to remember what all we were getting so far. Still need to get the newer cruisers, but I think we'll go out to the submarines next. Though maybe we'll get the snorkels before we do that. Yeah, I might do that first. Go ahead and get the snorkels. We're also working on the destroyers, so maybe we should go and get all the stuff for the destroyers. Yeah, let's go and start with that. We'll use our experience to get the depth charges. And then we'll get whatever else they need. Torpedoes, new torpedoes, all that kind of good stuff. So, let's go ahead and start building a carrier. And I think we'll probably pull some dockyards from some of this other stuff here to be able to get those carriers building. So let's go ahead and take these new carriers here. And we want to go ahead and decommission all the older carriers. Get this new one. And see what adjustments we need to make. Obviously got to put the new engines in there. We still only have level 1 radar, so that's unfortunate. Same thing with anti-air. We don't have better anti-air, but we do have dual purpose secondaries, so we can place those in. And then I'm probably just gonna go with the hangar space here. I like being able to have a lot of planes, man. And then we're gonna want to go historical carrier name. All right, so our carrier class, our 1940 carrier class, is going to be named the Josephine class. It's one of Napoleon's wives, probably his most famous wife. Most people have heard of. Let's go ahead and save that. And of course he ended up marrying somebody else, divorcing her. And where are we placing these? We're placing them here in Brittany, aren't we? Alright, so I think we're good to go. I'm just going to build one of those and pop it up here below those battleships. And then we're just going to take, I mean, we're pretty good on convoys. 736 is solid for right now. Maybe not need as many going towards some of these other ship types. I want to make sure that we have 5 going towards the carriers right now. Alright, so that looks solid. Speaking of our ships, let's take a look, see if anybody needs to get trained. I'm sure there are. Oh, yeah, we got these guys to be trained. And then we have another destroyer that needs to get trained up here. We'll see if any larger ships here are done training. There are not. Alright, awesome. So we'll have 2 battleships currently building as well as a carrier. Really trying to get that Navy built up. And then we've completed our national focus, which just gave us some research bonuses for light and medium tank models, and gave us a bit of army experience. We're now at 10 army experience, so we can actually make an adjustment. And of course, we're going to get the army reform now, which will finally remove the national spirit victors of the Great War, get us more army experience, research for land doctrines, and a new design company will be available. We've already got something there, so we're not going to get that. I can change that up. So getting that removed will give us time, if nothing happens with the Egyptians, if they don't join a faction. Let's just taking a look at their current army here. They only have a couple divisions, should be able to defeat them quite quickly, and there we go. The war has already started, so they're going to be distracted. Soviet Union just declared war on Poland, which, remember, Poland is part of the Central Powers. So the Germans and Austria-Hungary have already honored that alliance, and so now the Central Powers are going to be at war with the Comintern. So they do have multiple borders here, as you can see that they'll be fighting on, since the Soviets, or excuse me, the Comintern does kind of surround the Central Powers. Of course, you got this long line here with the Polish and the Soviets and the Baltic countries. Although I don't think Lithuania is in the faction. No, Lithuania's not, but they're not on that border anyway. Latvia and Estonia are. And then, of course, you have the Yugoslavians, and then these little patches of territory here, which don't really have a lot of troops defending. Oh, well, let me take that back. There are quite a few here. But not really any here because they can't get to there. So they only have the one division that looks pretty weak. It doesn't have very much strength. So they'll be able to easily conquer this territory here, which allows us to have just one front up along here for the Green Army, since the Soviets will, or excuse me, the Austrians will hold all this. And then I assume they'll start invading into Yugoslavia as well. We'll have to see how that ends up going. I imagine that the Soviets have a lot of troops along here. And the Kingdom of Romania is a neutral power here. They're not in either side. I'd love to be able to get them into our faction if we could, because they are probably going to stay non-aligned. So I'd love to get them into the faction, but of course we got to create a faction, so we got to get the Germans defeated first. So this is going to result in the Germans pulling troops off their border with us and pumping them over to the Soviet border, and that's not going to go well. What I am worried about, though, now that everybody's at war, that if we go to war with the Egyptian here, this might end up having them join one of those two factions. Let's hope that if they do join a faction, it's the Central Powers. I'll be really irritated if I find myself at war with both the Central Powers and the Comintern at the same time, though I guess it would result in a pretty fun conflict. Oh yes, that reminds me. So our Field Marshal here, this is not the Field Marshal that I wanted in here for a long time. We just ended up getting him here for a while. I meant to replace him with our new guy. Before we do, though, what we're going to do is we're going to create two theaters now with two separate field marshals. Up to this point, one field marshal was fine, since we only had so many divisions fighting. Which I just recalled one thing that I need to bring up here early in the video. I meant to mention it in like the first minute or two, because I've said this I don't know, at least 10 times in the series, but apparently a lot of people missed it every time I said it, because it keeps getting brought up. I have a lot of people bringing it up. So we cannot do the become spy master until we have a faction. You have to have a faction to become spy master. And then also people brought up, why haven't we started a faction yet? Why can't we start a faction with one of our puppets like we did with that Portuguese series? And the reason why, guys, is that it's not an option. So let's say if we were to just look at, one of our puppets here, I guess we could do Italy, but it doesn't really matter. But if we were to look at Italy here, create a faction. You cannot create factions without having national spirit to do so. We can't get a faction until we get this focus right here. Disunite Germany. And that sets the rules that we can create a faction. Though it creates a faction, I think it throws us in it, the Confederation of the Rhine. So I think it'll already create a faction for us, that we could disband the faction technically and start a new one. But yeah, this is the one that allows us to get a faction. As you can see, we can't do it until after Germany does not exist or has capitulated, and then any state of the German Empire has to be a core of the German Empire and then controlled by us. So we have to get one of their just one state in our hands. Once we do, and Germany's completely defeated, they can't be on the map no more, as in they gotta have capitulated. So until that point, we cannot have a faction, guys. It's just one of the limitations of the French focus tree when you go with the Napoleon route, which is very unfortunate, and I don't like it, since factions do limit you quite a bit, including your ability to become spy master. So I just want to explain that, because I know I mentioned it several times, and it keeps getting brought up. So hopefully everybody will see that, because it's a little bit earlier in the video. Maybe not, though. So I meant to mention it right in the first couple minutes. And Lithuania did join the Central Powers. Okay, not surprising. And I think that was the... Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Let me take that back. I was going to say this is the last Chinese faction that hadn't joined the Comintern, but they joined the Central Powers, not the Comintern. Which all of the rest of China... Well, okay, maybe not. A lot of China is currently in the Comintern, so these guys are going to be fighting on their own, and that creates the fact that now we have... Oops, over here we're not playing as Portugal, we're playing as French. So that does put all of our territory here under threat now. All right, so let's go ahead and react to that. And we still got these guys trained up. So what we're going to do is I did want to leave one division in each port to kind of cover this for us. But that's why we got these creditor divisions. And then what we're going to want to do is just create like an additional army. And I did forget I was doing something with the field marshals, didn't I? And put them onto this border here. And we'll just go ahead and change up their color as well. Just give them something different here. Let's go with... purple here, I suppose. Whatever, that's fine. All right, and then we're gonna go ahead and assign our good divisions up there. So they'll go that way, and then we'll take one of these guys and assign them over here. It's not gonna be enough to cover all of our provinces. We need, what is it, 4? Yeah, so we'll be 1 division short. And of course, we also have the fact that one of those divisions is kind of cruddy. We have 2 divisions here. I guess we'll keep them there. And also here, just trying to, so that we can just wipe out the Portuguese as quickly as possible. But we do need more troops over there now. So let me just see what we can pull from. Obviously we have these guys building. I think we have troops here that are building as well. We could get more of the Foreign Legion troops. We could also just take one of these guys and move him, and I think that's what we'll do for right now. Get him moving over to this front. And we still need to cover that port as well, so that's something to consider. But that gets us up to 4 divisions there. Could take some of the divisions out of Africa, but I'm trying not to do that. Well, let's take one of these guys then. I'll take this guy here and have him go into this purple army, but he's going to be covering his own front here. Just like so. All right, so they'll go over there. And I completely forgot I was doing the field marshals. So let's go ahead and do that now. We're going to go ahead and create a new theater with our defensive division. So that would be this army here, right? Yeah. So we're going to put them into the new theater. And then we're going to go ahead and take this field marshal and get our offensive field marshal in control, which I think is this one. And if he's got, yes, he does have an upgrade. So he's going to be the offensive doctrine. Let's go and assign that. And then he's also going to go with the charismatic. All right, excellent. So now his attack is at 4, so he's decent. And then what we're going to do is assign, well, we need to get a field marshal first, don't we? Let's go ahead and assign our best defensive guy who was in control of the other ones, which I wish I had gotten. I meant to get that other guy trained, and I just didn't, guys. But this is our defensive doctrine guy, and let me just see what we want to get for him. I think we're going to go with the unyielding defender to get the plus 10% defense and a higher chance of doing the counterattack tactics. Yeah, I think that's probably going to be the best one for us to get. All right, unyielding defender. All right, so this is defensive. That means the green army is going to go into there as well. And then we're probably going to place... I mean, these guys are more offensive minded. We can place these guys into there, though. Of course, many of these guys need generals. They don't actually have it yet, so we're going to want to do that now while I'm thinking about it. So we're looking for somebody who's more defensive minded. So I guess we'll do Gaston, because Gaston has the highest defense outside of Charles de Gaulle. I just hate this harsh leader. That's massive. Negative 10% recovery rate, man. I don't like it at all. I never really liked that trade. So we're going to place him in charge of the purple army here. These guys will need a general as well eventually. And let me just see if any of these generals have anything to get here. Suppose not. Well, he might have some. Nope, he just got guerrilla fighter. And he doesn't have anything either. All right. So it would probably be better to take somebody from... Let me see. What's he... Oh, he's at attack too. Never mind. Let me take that back. I was just seeing if we had anybody who was better at attacking... Or excuse me, at defense. We do not. So that's probably the best general for the purple army. All right, so that looks good. Let's let it play. And okay, so a bunch of people did end up joining the German faction. See, this is what I'm talking about, guys. Like, these guys might have joined our faction if it wasn't for the fact that we don't have a faction. As soon as they went to war here. So the Central Powers has grown, which I guess is good because it gives us more people to fight once we go to war here with the Central Powers, but it just sucks because none of these guys are going to go in our faction because we don't have a faction, and it's just a huge handicap to the French, man. They have to defeat one of your primary rivals to be able to create a faction. It's just ridiculous, man. I don't like it. So yeah, Brazil is now in their faction because they're not aligned. Then they've got Greece, and then there's one more, Romania joined, so they're not going to join our faction either. So we're going to have to fight all these guys now. It doesn't mean that Yugoslavia is going to be defeated pretty easily here now because they've got all these different borders going across here. So you can expect the Yugoslavians are going to get defeated. You can expect that the Russians are going to be defeated as well. The Soviets always lose to everybody. They suck, and they have two fronts now. So they're in a pickle, guys. They're in a lot of trouble. So Comintern will probably get defeated until we invade here, which we need to balance out the scales by doing that. And Argentina just joined too. So yeah, now we got to fight all these guys over here. That's irritating. Yeah, that's pretty irritating, guys. Because we don't have a faction, so they're the only non-aligned choice. So everybody's going to join them now. Yeah, I don't like that at all. All right, well, whatever. I knew it was going to be a problem, guys. I knew it was going to be a big issue, us not having a faction. It's just kind of the way it is. And there's something I was going to do. I don't remember what it was. Did the Germans they just invited us to their faction? That's awesome. We're going to decline. I'm about to attack them from behind when they have no troops here. In fact, we could always go ahead and start going towards... Well, we got to get rid of that army reform, don't we? All right. We'll have to see what happens here with the Egyptians. I kind of feel like they're going to end up joining a faction now. So we did get the improved artillery upgrade. Let's go ahead and get... I should probably go ahead and start getting these anti-air so we can get those onto our planes, or excuse me, onto our ships. And let me just see if any ships are done. No, not yet. Still got these guys trained up. Got these submarines trained as well. And Napoleon VI... Oh, that's right. This just has to do with us getting that war goal against the Egyptians. So I'm hoping to have that done before the end of the episode. And we're not going to trade for one tungsten. Because, yeah, I'd like to declare war on them. And let me see if we have any troops that have... so that's not the troops. And, of course, they capitulated pretty quick, as you'd expect them to. And so now we want to go ahead and place all these guys on that front. Just delete this front here. And then have it cover the whole thing. And then we'll just delete this, too, and redo it. Alright, awesome. So, these troops might move around a little bit. That's okay. Let me just see where our mountains are, because we might want to adjust this. And that does mean we're going to need fortifications all the way across here now as well. So let me make sure that we have our good troops in the mountains, man. You know, mountain troops in the mountains. Alright, so like these guys can come here. And then they'll come up here. And I think that should be good, man. And then I don't know where these guys are going to want to move. Yeah, we'll have to make some changes there. But that does mean we need more fortifications along here now. So let's get these up to level 5 at the very least. Really just focusing on the forts so that when we go to war against them, we can sit on the defense if need be. That they won't be able to break through our line here. Which we got it up in some of these areas. Some of these are still pretty weak though. Those forts do take longer to build the larger they are. Venezuela just joined. Okay, and means Mexican Soviet Republic is going to be bringing even more people into their faction. So hopefully we can convince the Americans to join against the Central Powers. I don't know. We'll see, guys. Of course, we need a faction before we can do anything, but I am really worried that they'll end up at war with the Comintern, which would result in them joining the Central Powers, which then we get this massively powerful Central Powers faction with no allies for ourselves. Now, there won't be anybody left. So we can go after the atomic research now, I suppose, but we're close enough to 1942 to go ahead and get the research speed there, which is a much higher. It's double the research speed of what the atomic one is. And we're not going to do the war propaganda, though, of course, we are pretty low in war propaganda. Excuse me, in the war support. We're not going to do that, though. I want to get this war against the Egyptians knocked out. Get all this territory taken to make sure that we control access to the Mediterranean in some way. You know, I don't want to like be shut out once we go to war with the Comintern. And then Egypt joins somebody else, and then we have no way to get in or out of the Mediterranean. So we do actually have some resistance here in in the Dutch territory. Let's take a look at our current resistance to see if we will need to move our guys anywhere. So Belgium's looking much lower, but Italy is obviously no resistance. I'm not seeing anything here. Yeah, no resistance in Italy apparently. All right. Well, let's go ahead and move our guy that's in Italy right now to accommodate that. We want him to root out resistance here. All right, so that should help. So we require less for our garrisons, have less resistance, take less casualties, all that kind of good stuff. Remember, we get this in February, I believe. I think that's correct. Yeah, February 15th. So just play on speed 5 until we get there. And of course, this does allow us to, you know, get more ships built. And let's go and get these guys signed here. Get more planes built. And higher stockpiles. Although stockpiles are actually looking pretty good, guys. We're not in too bad of a position now. Yugoslavia capitulated already. Not surprising. Not surprising at all. They'll probably get all this defeated here soon too, and then we'll be able to stretch the front out a bit more. Though it doesn't really matter. This is actually pretty good here. I mean, it's only one division in each province, so that is something to be concerned about, of course. And they do have troops over there, so let's see how it goes, guys. We got the new destroyer hulls. Let's go in and get all the stuff for them. So they need new torpedoes and they need the new guns. We'll start with the torpedoes, I guess. And I suppose we'll go ahead and only build one more destroyer. Where's this at? No point on building old destroyers. And then we get that done at the end of the month here. Even if we don't have all the stuff for them. Alright. So they should wrap this up soon. And then we don't have to worry about any of the common turn along here. And I think that the Central Powers are going to be in a really bad position when we declare war on them. And we do need to say that we're not interested in seeing these. All right. And how's our cipher going for the Germans? 250 days. They must have done a lot of focuses towards improving that. Because that is not as good as yeah, I mean, it's just taking a lot longer than you'd expect. As far as our operations go, there's a few things we could do here. And we just got army reform. Excellent. So we can finally start researching. And we just got the depth charge order as well. So we'll actually, we already know what we're going to get there then, since we just got this. All right, and we can make some improvements to our division design. So we'll do that here soon. So this will help with the compliance. Gets us the annexation war goal against the Germans. Of course, we also need to deal with the manpower issue and trying to get rid of that one modifier. So that's important too. And then of course we have the more resources. So that'd be quite helpful as well. I think we'll go ahead and start with, oh and yes, we can get rid of that thing too. So that'd be nice. We'll be able to produce faster. But I think we're going to start with, man, I almost want to go ahead and get the German war goal. I guess we got to do the thing in Italy first. So I suppose we'll get either this one here or this one here. I guess we'll do it with the manpower, since that is a limiting factor right now. So we'll start with the manpower. We do have a research slot open, so that we already know what we're getting here. This is the land doctrines, which we have the research bonuses for. And we'll be able to knock this out in 112 days. And let's go ahead and make an adjustment to our division designs as well. I'm still waiting on something. I think I was going to get the... Yeah, actually I don't know what I was planning on getting there. I think what we're going to do is maintenance companies for all of our tanks. Change them up, and then the Lancers as well. Alright, so that looks good. That is going to require quite a bit more support equipment. Yeah, quite a bit of support equipment, but we already have quite a bit, so it's not really a problem. So some of these division designs are also going to need to be, we're going to have to make some adjustments here. Alright, and they're over here. Let's put them onto that front then, or into that theater. Now, I'm not going to break the theaters up based on the location, and we're just going to base them on whether we want a defensive field marshal or an offensive one. Alright, so I know that we have some troops that are going to have to get trained up. Oh, here we go. So let's go and train these guys. And any other ones that have... Okay, looks like that's it. Just these ones. They're the only ones that are affected by that change to the Lancers. I think they're the only ones that have the Lancers. Okay. Speaking of divisions, let's go and build a few more divisions, guys, because I feel like we don't don't have quite enough. Let's get some more mountain troops because we can. We get one more anyways. So we're going to get these, and I almost want to do a couple more extra foreign legions replacing elsewhere. We need another, we need more Imperial Guard troops, don't we? So we'll do a couple more Imperial Guard, or maybe just one more. Yeah, we'll do 2. Being indecisive. We'll do one of these guys instead. All right, so that looks good. And then we're going to get all these guys placed. So they'll go straight into our training army here. And I'm hesitant to build, to deplete our manpower too much, since obviously once we go to war, we'll start taking casualties. And we're still going to be building ships as well, ships and planes and stuff, air wings. So all that does take up, obviously all that does require more manpower. So what we could do is go ahead and get more planes training. We could train them in Paris, I suppose, and be like our training center. And just get all these guys training up. Although we'd want the naval bombers over here somewhere. Do we have a naval bomber wing of these guys still need to train? Let's go and get them training. Actually, shift click them train. So they'll stop once they are done training. Same thing with these guys here. Let's get them training as well. And then let's go ahead and get some fighters out there. I already moved planes to... I've already moved planes to Egypt, guys, so we don't need to worry about that. And then I'm sure we have some bombers as well. Or I thought we did. We got almost enough. We can also get the close air support out there. We can test them out. Let's go ahead and do all these guys, though. Close air support. And then get them training, too. And then... there we go. So they'll do the pilot exercises. We'll take a bunch of fuel, but start giving us some air experience. And just getting those planes trained up. Alright, so yeah, this would have been a perfect time for us to declare war on the Central Powers when they're so distracted. We'll see what happens with Egypt. I feel like I'm already going that route, so might as well let it keep going. So we do need to get the additional radar. Let me see what else we need. I know we're in 1942 now, so there's a lot of stuff, frankly. Better infantry equipment would be useful, of course. Should probably improve the stuff here as well. Those are nice passive bonuses, so I think that's where we'll start. Yeah, that's where we're going to start, guys. Let's go and get these nice passive bonuses here. Let's build Hospital 1. Take less casualties overall. And then also, we can now make an improvement to our military staff. So we're going to start with the military high command here and see which 3 we want to get. So this would help our troops out quite a bit because we have a lot of motorized and mechanized out there. That'd help the mountain troops because that's all we have right now. We don't have paratroopers or marines just yet. Could get the one for the capital ships. He's only a specialist though. Got the screens. I don't like getting like the specialist yet because their bonuses aren't anywhere near as good. But experts as high as we have right now. So I think we're gonna get the Cav one for sure. Might also get the air superiority one. There's a lot of good choices here, guys. I don't think we're gonna get any of these ones. I can confirm that we're not gonna get any of these. I would get that one if he was more than a specialist. We don't need the edge generation chances. The ground support would be useful, I suppose. And that applies. Yeah, that's plus 15%. That's pretty good. I think I'm going to do Cav and probably air support and then one more. Let's go and start with the Cav one since that'll improve our all of our tank divisions because if you take a look at these guys, their organization was fairly low. That should tick up now with that bonus. So we got the anti-air upgrade. So let's go and get the next anti-air. And then we have some free dockyards available too. Must have been used for repairing. No, we finished up that destroyer. That's right. So let's go ahead and get the new destroyers building. And we're going to want to decommission all these 1936 and early destroyer ones. All right, so let's go ahead and get anything improved that we actually have. I want to say this is better than yeah, that's actually better. So we're going to give them the dual purpose ones. That's best anti-air we have right now. Of course, this best sonar we have, best radar. A lot of these things still need to get upgraded. We got the new engines in there already. But we do have better depth charges, so we can place those. And I think we're just going to focus on depth charge attack here, guys. That's what we want our submarines to do. We'll use other ships for anti-air. And that's actually not a bad anti-air. So let's go historical destroyers here, and then the crabs. Alright guys, so this will be our first variant of the Wolf Hunters 3-. A there. So we'll have to probably set them up to only build one, since we are getting new tech for them. So yeah, this should be, let's just see how quickly they build once we get those dockyard designs. So 18th April, yeah, we'll have the new equipment by then. So we'll just have them build one for right now, and then we'll be able to create a new variant of those. All right, so just a little bit longer, guys, and we'll have this war goal done. And then we'll declare war in Egypt and just hope they don't join the Comintern, man. I really don't want them to join the Comintern, but they could. They could. That'd be really unfortunate. It's funny that the Germans asked us to join their faction. Then we just fight the Comintern. But yeah, we didn't want to do that, guys. Yeah, but the Soviets are losing, man, so we do need to get into this war while they're fighting over here. And yeah, you see that they're going to start losing over this way as well. Yeah, they don't have much of a chance, guys. Comintern is done for. They do have to do the invasion of Spain. Is Britain at war? Yeah, Britain is now at war with them. Oops, we actually have a civilian factory sitting here done. Hope that wasn't sitting there too long. So I'm almost thinking we're going to continue building up forts here. We haven't got the new radar just yet. So let's just do, let's keep on doing the forts, I think. I think that would be for the best. So let's go ahead and do, I suppose we can do all the way up to level 10, at least across the German border. And the point here is if I can't push forward, which I should be able to, but if we get pushed back or whatever happens, we'll have level 10 forts along there. And I think that'll be worth it. Maybe we'll build there as well a little bit later. But yeah, if the power of the Central Powers, which they're looking pretty strong now, especially if the Soviets are defeated by the time we go to war with them, which I hope that's not the case. That's why we're going to try and get into this war as soon as the war for Cairo is done. We do have a decision available. Let's just take a look and see what these are. This is developing some resources. So what resources are we short on? I don't actually know. I know we're only trading for tungsten, I believe. Yeah, I think that's the only one we're trading for. We can always use more rubber. And of course, you can always use more oil as well. So let's just take a look and see what these are for. Here's the oil fields. We're not going to do those just yet, though that would be useful. More rubber in Madagascar would also be helpful, but again, we're not short on that just yet. I think we are going to go ahead and do... No, we're not going to do that either, because I want to say that we're pretty good on aluminum. Alright, so, I mean, I suppose we could do... Oops. The one for the oil, because it is always helpful. Get more oil and more rubber as well. This does require some civilian factories, but you know what? Let's do the rubber first, and then we'll do the oil. I know we got a lot of stuff we have to get here, guys, but we're doing pretty good in that area. It's not too shabby. We also have more manpower as well because of that 3%. I didn't realize that, so we might want to go and take advantage of that. Get ourselves some more troops training up. So we're going to want more medium tank divisions, which we actually have a pretty good number of tanks in our stockpile. So we're going to do a total of 8 here. Could get a couple, like maybe one more Lancer. Let me just take a look actually and see how we're doing. How many Lancers we currently have in this army? I think it's quite a few. Yeah, we don't really need another Lancer division. Though I do like their speed. Eventually, they become the fastest unit we'll have. They'll be even faster than the no, they won't be faster than the motorized because they'll be limited by the motorized and their speed. They'll be about the same speed as the motorized, but they'll be better. So that's one advantage of the Lancers. Well, we need more Imperial Guard units. We already mentioned this, so let's get more of those, and then we'll go ahead and get like one Lancer division and get them assigned. Oh, oops, I didn't want to do that. My bad. Hit the wrong button there. All right, so let's get them going to the training army here, and maybe one more Foreign Legion division. Is there anything else that we really need here? We cannot do any more mountain troops. I guess we're going to get another Imperial Guard unit. Alright, so lots of units in training right now. As far as supply shortages, it looks like, or equipment shortages, I should say, we're pretty stocked up on just about everything except for the medium tanks. So we might go ahead and switch over to that. Looks like motorized is really stockpiled as well. Alright, I'm just seeing if there's anything we can pull from, kind of reorganize, excuse me, our production here. So let's see how we want to do this. Yeah, we're going to need to pull from a few things from what I'm noticing. Alright, so we're good on support equipment, good on artillery because we already have one factory there. Anti-tanks, I want to say we're stacked up on that, aren't we? And we're just upgrading right now. Yeah, I want to say that's what we're currently doing. Yeah, we're upgrading. So we can go ahead and keep that going into there. Anti-air, we can pull back on that a bit. Mechanized can be pulled back on too, though we are using those for, yeah, I guess we should probably keep it going. But we do need to get more into the medium tanks, so let's go ahead and step them up for any new factories we get here. And maybe we'll step these down a bit to be able to get those factories going into the medium tanks. And then I think that this should be good. These guys are stockpiled as well, so we can actually pull back on them quite a bit. Alright, so that looks good. That gives us a bunch of factories to put towards planes, guys, which is what we need. Alright, excellent. Just really pumping the planes does result in us not needing as much tungsten as well. Get some of our civilian factories back. Any of these troops training done? We do have some. Alright. So let's go and place these guys in the Red Army. I want a full army here, and I should have gotten them placed over here, and I just didn't. So let's go and do that now. I meant to have that done before we started with Egypt, but whatever, that's fine. So they'll go on over to there, and then we also have one more of these divisions, which we're gonna, the Imperial Guard divisions, which we're gonna place over to here. Make sure that we have a little bit stronger front there, because it's not good enough. All right, so let's go ahead and do the attack here. We need to declare war, and then hopefully they don't join a faction, unless, or if they do join a faction, then they end up joining the, you know, I'm just gonna go around those guys. We're just gonna go around them, cut them off, and we'll just turn this down to 4. All right, so already got our troops there. Let's go and attack now. Bring these guys over here. And it doesn't look like they're gonna join a faction. But again, if they do, it's gotta be, and I forgot to put my planes in the air, it's gotta be the Comintern, or excuse me, the Central Powers. All right, so let's get these bonuses here. That'll help us out, and we can go ahead and do the more ground crews too. All right, that'll allow us to move a little bit quicker here. All right, so what we're going to do is just keep on pushing forward here. Just try and get around the few divisions they have. I know that, you know, obviously, you know, they're not a serious threat, but I'd prefer to not have to fight them all the way across if we can avoid it. Get them cut off here and then just quickly destroy them. Should be pretty easy. Let's have them go all the way to El Alamein. All right, let's go and attack here now. And then attack here. And this guy can just go and attack right there now. And just push all the way to Alexandria. I know they have one more division somewhere. I'm not entirely sure where he's at, though. Let's go ahead and stretch this out. Oh, that ends up being weird. We want them here. He'll come over this way. Alright, so there's their one more division. We do have a sandstorm over here. We're gonna have this guy hop on the railroads on over here. Have all these guys hop on the railroads over there, except for one. He's just gonna go ahead and conquer that one territory for us. Now they could easily cut us off here, but I'm not too worried about it. Yeah, we should be alright. Alright, so Alexandria is ours. Let's go ahead and take these other key cities. They had another division over here. Alright, they must have built him recently. And when they sit there, they'll get a planning bonus. Alright, so these guys are a little bit tired. We're gonna have to wait a little bit before we do any further attacks. The sandstorm is over, so that's good. Alright, let's go and push forward here now. And have these guys get across the way. I'm going to grab Cairo up, and hopefully that'll be the end of the conflict. And they didn't join a faction, so that went pretty well. And then, as far as the territory here, I just don't think we'll be able to wrap it up, guys. I just don't want to wait on it. And of course, you can do the multiple war goals at a time, but it gets more like costly, or it takes longer with each war goal you do. So it's actually not very efficient. I think you can do 2 at a time, and it's not too bad. But so we did get the ship torpedo launchers. Let's get the. Well, we still need to get the submarines. We need to get the snorkels for them. Let's go get the improved light battery first, I guess, because that'll. Well, I don't even know if we'll need those. We'll get it anyway. And then we have. We can now improve these. We need to wait though until we finish up building that one, so we'll just wait on it. Try and get this war done, guys. Alright, so those guys are now cut off. Let's get them destroyed. And I was thinking taking Cairo would be the end of them, but that is not the case. They're still, there we go. Alright, so we got their stuff. They didn't really have much stuff. And so we were probably just going to go ahead and annex them. Just because, I mean, we hold all the rest of this territory, so I don't want that. I want this to all be blue. We can always do a collaboration government if we can get it up high enough. So that is good. Let's say we're done. All right, fantastico. So very easy conflict. It didn't take too long, and we are now going to go ahead and get these guys placed. And we could bring them on over to here, but you have noticed that they've actually pulled back all that. The British have, because they're not. Everybody's not worried about us anymore. So we could go to war with either side and probably have a lot of success doing so. But you know what, guys? We're gonna place a couple divisions over here for when we did want to declare war. I guess we'll do like 3 divisions here. Yeah, let's just do like 3 of these guys, like the 3 least experienced ones here. Put them on that front, and then they would attack over that way once they're ready. All these other 2 are going to be joining the force over here since we are going to be at war with them soon. So let's go ahead and place them here with one of them going over here. It's going to take them a while to get there, but that's okay. We still got to get the war goal against the Germans. We did get a dockyard done. Does that mean we finished up the destroyers? No, we only have 1 dockyard done, and that was that we took from the Egyptians. So we could speed this up, get that destroyer done a little bit quicker. I guess that's what we'll do. As far as when we get these ships done, it's 1943, guys. It's going to take a while. Now, that will, in fact, be sped up once we get rid of the inefficient economy. That's negative 10% to the dockyards output. So that should speed up some. And then I guess we're going to go after the oil next. Oh, we can actually do 2 here. Okay, interesting. Let's go and get the oil here first. Yeah, because I'm noticing that we are kind of having some problems with the oil. A little bit. It's not too bad, but... Alright, so we'll get that going there. Let me see how these guys are doing. They're still building up the forts. Okay. Alright, so everything else looks pretty solid. Let's go and take the planes here, and then we're going to move them back home. And just stop what they're doing. Move on over to here. And then what we'll have is have these 2 shift-click on their experience. I didn't realize those didn't have training yet. We'll get them going, get them trained up, and see if there's anything else really to put in here that I want. Nah, we'll just wait. Just wait. All this does, of course, use up our experience, or excuse me, use up our fuel. All right, we've got our first medium tanks here that are done. I don't know if we'll have them in time for the offensive there. So we're getting to expand the citizenship. That's going to be more manpower. I thought we had already gotten that. We didn't get that. I had said that we got that more manpower from that, and we don't even have it yet. So we'll have that soon. That's another 3% non-core manpower. We can go speed this up to level 5. And I think next we're gonna go ahead and we have to declare war on the Central Powers, guys. Yeah, they're advancing very, very rapidly, guys. If we want to do this while they're at war with the Comintern, we've got to start it now. So what's the decision available? Okay, more oil. We'll go and do that then. That'll be the last one we do. We're not gonna do these 2. We're pretty good on aluminum for right now. But having the more oil, I think, would be worth it. Since we're already using a lot of oil right now. So let's go ahead and see what these finished up here. We got some submarines done and some more destroyers. Get those guys training up. Continue to produce us Navy experience that we can use to design our ships. And we got to expand the citizenship. Excellent. So we could go and get one of these 2 here. I haven't exactly decided which one I want to do just yet. Because it's going to be kind of tricky, because if you get this one, then you get rid of that full employment, which is right here, the recruitable population factor, negative 25%. So that would be super helpful to get rid of that. In addition, that's the thing that's limiting me from changing my conscription law. If we change to extensive, then that gets modified, and then we get production penalties. So I would imagine you still get production penalties. Maybe you don't get it if you've gone this route, but I don't know. I don't actually know. But essentially, you get more non-core manpower, which is helpful. You get more compliance. That's also helpful. And then we do the French Union one, which then lets them vote on whether they want, and I would imagine this might be based on their current compliance, but whether they want to stay in your empire, and then you get a core on their territory, which is so useful, or they can just bounce and leave your empire, so that's pretty negative. Or we could just do the encourage immigration, and that would remove the full employment modifier. So that's an option too. Probably the safer bet. Then also, we can start going down here. This is some very nice bonuses and get rid of that inefficient economy. But I feel like we have to go to war. So let's do the retribution for Sedan. And get ready to declare war on the Germans, guys. That's going to be next episode as soon as we get that. So we're talking about 70 days away. The Soviets have the last 70 days. And they'll be notified, though, that we're getting a war goal. So, you know, they'll probably start putting some troops over here. And maybe that'll end up helping them. Slovenia has capitulated. Took them a little bit longer than I expected them to. So yeah, I imagine they're going to start bringing some troops over here. Yeah, so that might help the Soviets out, because the Germans are now going to have to defend their border with us. Yeah, they're bringing troops over here now. And that's going to require them to keep troops over here on this side as well. And we'll just continue to get the factories, or excuse me, get our forts built. But let's go ahead and get these up to level 10 too. Just again, I'm just going to make them exhaust themselves on my fortifications if I can't advance. If we can't advance, then the fortifications were not needed, and whatever, that's fine. Because once we've defeated the Central Powers, then after that, I mean, it's kind of a wrap. I mean, we got the British to defeat, but yeah, I kind of feel like that's our main enemy here, which is why it's such a shame that we can't get the faction until we defeated them. So we did get the new anti-air, so that's good. So let's see what we want to get next. We could improve our anti-tank and anti-airs. That would be useful. Could continue to get these here. We're already getting something there. Obviously, we have, you know, got our ships going as well. Text towards our ships. We already have this going. We need to get the new radar. I suppose we'll go ahead and do that next. Let's get the radar. 136 days, and go ahead and get the new equipment that we just got. So we got the new towed anti-air, and then we also got something here, I think, the new destroyers. So what we're going to want to do, oh, it looks like we actually lost some dockyards. They're currently repairing, I see. Alright, but that's fine. That's fine. Okay. So we're looking pretty good, guys. We should be ready for the next episode to declare war on the Germans. So we'll try and get a little bit longer. But yeah, I think this is going to be super fun, man. I'm excited. I'm excited about doing the war with the Central Powers, though I am a little bit concerned also about the situation over here, because we did not build like forts or anything. I probably should have. But they are not currently in the war, so that's another thing to consider. Oh, no, they are in the war. All right, so they'll probably get pulled in. Could build the fortifications up here. Just like level 2 forts, I don't know if I'll build them here. If they attack me there, then, I mean, I don't even know if we should defend that. What is here? Like, what are we getting here? I mean, get 179 dudes. All we do is stretch out our front. I almost want to just give that to them. Yeah, I feel like defending up along here is more important. So I think that might be what we do here, guys. Yeah, I think that would probably be better. Although, they might not be able to defeat us here with 2 divisions. It's hard to say. Here's what we'll do for now. Let's get 2 just level 2 forts up along here. And I suppose we can do it there as well. With level 2 fort, we might be able to hold it with 2 divisions. We'll see. If the divisions even get there in time, because it does take them a while to get over there. So we got more dockyards, because we just finished up the destroyers. Okay, so that's what we're waiting on. So we're going to go ahead and make our first variant here of these. And let's go ahead and give them whatever new things we got. We got anti-air. I know we got that. We're working on radar, so we don't have that yet. But we should have it soon. We got the new torpedo launchers, though, so that's good. And I think that's it. So let's go ahead and save this. And then get these building. And we'll probably just build one more, because again, we're getting radar. So we'll just build one more of these. And place them here. And put all of our dockyards into that. Alright, so that looks good, guys. Okay, so let's take a look. Yeah, these guys need to get placed into here. And it's just destroyers that are currently training, so that's okay. And we're good on manpower again. We are earning more manpower from that 3%. This time we actually did get the 3% that I said we already had. Let's build another Foreign Legion division. And still can't get any more mountain troops, so that's alright. Let's go up to 10 Imperial Guard units here. I know that we need to get the 40 wits, guys, but we don't have the army experience for it right now. So yeah, we just can't get it. Let's go ahead and do up to 8 divisions here for the medium tanks. And that looks good. All right, excellent. We also have troops that are currently done training, so what we're going to do is get these placed now. A lot of places for them to go. Obviously, this army here not enough divisions really. I think we're lacking. Nope, we're full there. All right, that's good. So we're gonna place okay, we need a division there. Some of these are not quite as well protected as I would like. Let me see how many we need here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so I think all of these are gonna have to go up along this frontier. So that's a bit unfortunate. In fact, you know what? We need one over here. We're gonna end up losing this territory, guys, if I don't get these guys going over here. And this is key for us. We have to keep it. All right, so we'll get one more going over there just because it takes so long for them to move over there. All right. I mean, these are level 10 forts, so one division might be enough, frankly. It might be too difficult for them to break through here. We're just, and they just keep on asking us to join the faction. No! Don't you see? I'm getting a war goal on you. I'm going to declare war on you. They're scared. They don't want it, guys. They don't have the forts to stop us. In certain areas, of course, where our Red Army is, we're going to be able to just race through here. If this is all they have here, guys, they cannot stop us with that. Nope. I do notice they have the medium tanks there. Remember, we do have the tank destroyers in the Lancers. So I don't think that that's going to be enough to stop us, guys. Yeah, I don't think they'll be able to stop it. I think we got it. All right, so these guys should still be training. It looks like they filled up, and so they didn't finish training. Let me just make sure that everybody along here is training up. Those guys are training. Just make sure we get the full experience. We did move those planes from over there. These guys are still here, and they're experienced as well. So let's go and see if there's any more planes here that we can place. What we could do, could have gone and get them up to 100. Let's go and do that. Get them training. All right, and then did we have enough fighters? We did. All right, so we're gonna get another fighter wing going here, guys, and probably another close air support too. Let's go and get them training, and then the close air support. And do we have enough tactical bombers? We could do the air wing and tactical bombers. Sure, why not? Actually, let's put all these guys over here. And then get them set up to train. And then we'll do one for the tactical bombers right here. Just get like an air wing of 100 tactical bombers. Oops. All right, and get them trained up too. Excellent. All right, so actually that is going to be the end of the episode here, guys, unfortunately. We have depleted a lot of manpower getting those, but it's all right. It's fine. Again, once we get this, we can start working on those focuses to kind of deal with the manpower situation. Also, getting this here for the compliance would be super useful as well, so that we, you know, actually, I completely forgot we want to move our spy here against the Germans. We should have already done this. So let's go and start building the intel network, but it's not going to be him. That's right. We have a German to do that for us. So let's go ahead and build the intel network against the Germans, and then we're going to have this guy here. He's going to, I mean, let's take a look and see if we need more going towards resistance. So if we were to just look at where we have resistance right now, Netherlands, of course, Egypt, we do have some resistance, unfortunately. We might just have to eat that, though. I don't think there's going to be anything we could do about it, because I don't want to assign, we already have one that's going to be in the Netherlands, so I don't really want to assign any other ones right now. We did get the Belgians and the Italians. We got their resistance down enough. Compliance is going up as well, so we're getting more stuff from those territories. So we're going to keep him in the Netherlands, because that's the place where we have the most resistance right now. And then let's go ahead and build the intel network up in Germany faster. Could, of course, use it against the Dutch, but our focus is going to be getting the, excuse me, I said the Dutch, against the Austrians. But, of course, our focus is going to be getting the Germans knocked out as soon as possible, as that will allow us to create our own faction here. And we've already at a disadvantage. Almost everybody has joined the Central Powers. It's quite unfortunate, guys. As far as creating the faction, or getting the Americans in, I'm going to see if we can. It might be difficult to do, though. What are the Australians doing? They're currently at war with the Comintern. Okay, so this is their faction. So, you know what? The United States did end up going to war with the Comintern. They would join the Australian faction. Okay, well, at least they're not in the Central Powers. That's what's important. I hope you guys did enjoy this episode. If you did, make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment. I do hope to see you on the next episode, where we're going to be declaring war on the Central Powers. And this is going to be really bad for them, especially if they can't get the Soviets defeated within the next, what is it? They got 30 days. They got a month to defeat the Soviets so they can bring their troops over here to our borders, and that ain't going to happen. The Austrians are ready, though. They have troops. They're obviously not fighting the Soviets. So it's the Germans that are going to be in trouble, which is who we want to attack anyways. So we're going to get our planes assigned, we're going to get our ships assigned out there, do all that good stuff in the next video. So I'll see you on that one. Yeah, I guess that's it for this one, guys, and thanks for watching.